All right, let's see if we can do it again. Wait till people come on in here. All right, second part of the live stream. Here we go. Don't know what happened there. Just went out on me. Just went out. That's it. Anyways, yeah, I think Carolina could actually use a power forward still. You got Jesper Fost. It's okay. I don't know. Maybe they won't need one. Nietzsche plays that kind of game. I don't know. They might not need one. I mean, if that's the only thing they need, then it really right now it's that Brett Pesce is out. They may try to use Niederreiter to get a guy like that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Well, I put a whole new stream up and went again. Score predictions. I got to be careful with that because I have I'm probably going to be starting on a website soon, and my picks are going to be all paid picks. I have somebody that probably is going to be hiring me. You guys can do score predictions though if you want. What do you think about Florida Carolina, you guys? These guys are all good. Or not Florida Carolina, Florida New York Rangers. What's the score going to be there? There's a good one, Whitechel. Patrick Kane. And that was the other thing I wanted to talk about too. The general manager that's taking over for Chicago immediately said that his philosophy is different than is going to be different than Bowman's. I think that Chicago is going to be turning into a much more defensive team. And yes, I do think that, see, what's been going on in Chicago, let's talk about Chicago for a while. What's been going on in Chicago, as far as I can tell, is that they have been rebuilding, but trying to convince their veterans they're not. So they've been bringing in players kind of like, well, we know they're not going to win, but we're going to make it look like we're winning. And they've been playing a game there in Chicago. And I don't think you're going to see that anymore. I think that's over. What's the new general manager in Chicago now? So yeah, I definitely could see Chicago having some big trades. And Kane and Taves and all of them could be part of that. I think they're going to actually do a rebuild. They're not going to lie to their veterans anymore and carry this on. They're going to rebuild. I do think so. Marc-Andre Fleury will be traded too. What's his name? Kyle Davidson. Don't even know much about him. Derek King, I do believe Derek King played for the Islanders. He was a player. If he's the same Derek King that played for the Islanders, but man, he looks old. Was it that long ago? Kyle Davidson is the new general manager. Yeah, they're going to play. I think they're going to play more defensively, and I think he's going to be more honest. And I wouldn't doubt if he sits down and talks to Kane and Taves and says, here's the thing. We're doing an actual rebuild now. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Just a matter where, like, where would Kane go? He's making $10 million a year or more. Chicago. Oh, he's making 10.5 for the next 2 years, but somebody would take him. We look at cap space here. A team that is in contention, and like I said, they could take money back. Or for 2 years, they could even retain a little bit. Like Colorado or Florida, New York Islanders. Imagine the New York Islanders with Kane. Buffalo could trade for Kane. Yeah, I don't think so. I know he's from Buffalo, but yeah, I don't think he's going to go to Buffalo. But I could see the New York Islanders doing something like that. Finally, Barzal has somebody that he can pass the puck to and get the puck from. Holy crap, that would be amazing. The thing is, though, he can't play defense with the darn. I don't know if they'd be too happy with him there. If Edmonton got Kane, I don't know how they would have managed to do that. I don't know how they could do the cap space on that. But like in Vegas would probably try to get him. Vegas would probably try to get him. They could trade Smith. Like they don't have any more prospects to trade though. That's the problem. Their prospects are all gone now. So they've made their move. But like Tays, Kane, Fleury. And Fleury I could see going back to Pittsburgh. I could see that happening quick. You know, Arizona gets Kane. That would be a hot take. Yeah, he's got a no trade clause, so pretty sure he's going to nix that. They'd have to work with him to where he might want to go and stuff like that. Boston, though? Boston's by Buffalo. And man, oh man, do they need some secondary scoring there in Boston. A center more than anything, but Boston Bruins. I don't know who they would trade. They could trade Smith because he hasn't been working out well. And since Chicago's not worried about winning right now, they could take him. First round picks, but they don't really have a lot of prospects to give up. Where do I think? I think it'll be a little bit before Colleton lands somewhere. Well, I'm going to have some more firings happen anyways before that would happen. Maybe someplace like Vancouver. If Green can't get Vancouver on track here right away. Makes sense. Colleton plays a very offensive, aggressive type game. Very offensively aggressive. He needs a really good goaltender to play the system he plays. They have one in Demko. He seems to help be able to get a lot of offense out of his players. Vancouver certainly needs a guy like that. So if you're asking me off the top of my head, I would say maybe him. The other one is if Balsillie, if they've kind of wore out their welcome, if they've kind of wore out their belief in Balsillie by now, then, you know, a guy like that, he could go in there with a young team. possibly, but the one that came to my mind straight out was Vancouver. But if Edmonton got Kane, again, he can't play defense with the darn, but it wouldn't even matter. Just imagine Kane and McDavid on the same line. Kane, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Like, just everybody else just sit down. Play them 30 minutes a night. It don't matter what happens. Score, win 8-5, 9-5. That would be ridiculous. Ridiculous. No, Arizona's not getting Kane. They have no reason to take Kane. And Chicago has no reason to take Kessel, but I know you know that, Mercer, but no, everybody would be watching Edmonton Oilers all the time if they did something like that. Everybody, like the whole world, would watch the Edmonton Oilers all the time if they somehow got Kane. That would be just stupid. But I don't think it's like it would be like fantasy land for sure if that were to happen. I could see possibly Colorado. Kane and McKinnon would be pretty sick. But they'd have to give up so much they wouldn't have much for the rest of their lines. They got a little bit of cap room there in Colorado. What, did you see that sick? Oh, yeah, I'm sure you saw it. That we didn't even talk about. I'm an Oilers fan. I didn't even talk about that game versus the Rangers where they put up they put up Lowe's name up into the rafters. I should have known they would have come out a little slow. And Oilers man was in here. He's probably gone because I didn't bring it up. I don't know why he didn't bring it up. But that goal's that was just stupid. Go through 4 guys to tie the game on low up to the rafters night. Like, the amazing thing about that goal, like, even he knew that it was amazing what he did, because he's incredible. He scores goals all the time. But I think even when he finished his reaction to his own goal, he was like, wow, I can't even believe I did that. That's something when you're talking about McDavid. Yeah, they do need defense and goaltending, but if they had Kane on their team, I don't even think that would matter. Like I said, it probably doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter what they do. They can have Barry, Keith, whatever. You have Kane on that top line, they'll just score. Their power play will be like 70%. Just go get some players that can draw penalties really well and just draw penalties all night. That was an absolutely disgusting play. There's a few times a year where your eyes pop out, and it's usually McDavid that does it. And that one was one of those times. I was just like, what happened? I immediately had to go rewind it and watch it over and over again. It was crazy. Maybe. It's not over yet. McDavid still has 70 more games. He'll probably go through. They play Detroit next. You never know. He might go through the whole lineup and do something crazy. Like, McDavid isn't done. There'll be a highlight reel just for McDavid by the end of the year, I'm sure. You play that defense in Detroit versus McDavid, oh, that could get ugly. As long as they're playing at 100% and Tippett's got them firing and they don't overlook Detroit or something, that could get really ugly. Or if they play Ottawa right now, ouch. Ouch. It's going to be interesting. They're going to do that Eastern road trip now. How Edmonton can, what Carolina can do with a team like Edmonton and Florida and Tampa Bay and Philadelphia, who basically shut down Washington last time they played. By the way, Jones in Philadelphia, my gosh, right, CL? Who saw that coming? Oh, I know, like how he can stick handle at top speed at the speed he stick handles at. I've never seen anything like it. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. Pavel Bure is about the closest. Maybe Denny Savard. There's a couple guys that were close, but nobody really is close. Like the speed the speed he works at the top of his, when he's at top speed and his stick handling and hand speed is with Jones in net. Yeah, Jones is playing. That goaltender coach that he used to play for has obviously got his confidence through the roof right now. Pavel Datsyuk. Datsyuk didn't have the speed though. His stick skills were absolutely bloody nuts though. I don't think I ever saw a guy strip a puck in the defensive zone better than Datsyuk. He used to be able to take pucks off of people's sticks, and he did it every game. I don't remember a guy that could take a puck off people's sticks like him, and the guy doesn't even realize that the puck is off his stick. He'll keep on trying to think it's and then go where to go. Totally surprise people. Datsyuk, one of the best, maybe the best defensive player I ever saw with the stick. In as far as a forward is concerned, it was nuts. How many times did he do that? Where he took the puck off somebody's stick and the guy didn't even know he was around. He's like a ninja, man. Yeah, he's got a way. I have to watch him a lot to get up to where Dats is. That's going to take Dats was incredible. When you heard people talk about Datsyuk at the time, like other players, they said, who is the best with the stick? Like, it wasn't even a question. He's like, all the players would say they would just marvel at what that guy can do with the stick. McDavid doesn't do what Datsyuk does with what I just said, though. He can do it at times, but I never saw anybody do. I still haven't seen anybody do it better than Datsyuk. The way that one aspect, but he was a magician with the stick, and he played during the trap time too. So if he would have played now, I wonder how many points he would get. He would at least be a 100-point player, probably 90 at least 90 to 100 points. And a Selke finalist every year. Incredible player, Datsyuk. And Fedorov, too. They had two of them. Fedorov and Datsyuk. Fedorov didn't strip pucks like Datsyuk did, but he was so good positionally. And Evander Kane, his career is all over. Where did you hear that? Yeah, I mean I think he's a little underrated defensively, but yeah, he's nowhere near the level that Datsyuk was defensively. But then Datsyuk is nowhere near the level of McDavid offensively. So. Yeah, if you can get it through. If you can get it through on a regular basis, it will destroy the trap, all right? You got to get a guy behind you. The trapping teams are waiting for that to happen to try to strip it, but that's kind of what how the Oilers are built. Offensive defensemen that can pass the puck through the neutral zone quick to guys like McDavid and Draisaitl and stuff like that. McDavid is a better player than Datsyuk ever was. So. McDavid is the best player I've ever seen. Saying it right now. Yeah, I know. And that's ticking me off. If he plays, if he's going to be in the lineup, I'll probably be on Florida there, but they probably won't tell you till the last second. So I'll just fade the game. Still not saying anything. It just says day to day. Not. They're going to keep that under wraps. It leads me to believe that he'll play. I'll update TSN's injuries. Seems to be the best, but still says Craig Anderson is out. Oh yeah, Olofsson's out for Buffalo too. Oh yeah, Washington's got to win that game. We didn't even talk about Pesce out for Carolina. That hurts. Yeah, it would be nice to have Hayes in there for Brassard, that's for sure. LAPCD, where the heck is Florida? Yeah, it still says he's day to day. Just says questionable, I don't know. Well, it depends on your team makeup, yeah. Dumping pucks, yeah, dumping pucks on goalies that can't retrieve it. Yeah. Like Murray in Pittsburgh. Varlamov isn't great. Sorokin's better. I don't know. How is Spencer Knight been that way? Dumping pucks on goaltenders that like to retrieve it but can't retrieve it. That's even better. Dominic Hasek used to be just a freaking nightmare. He loved to come out and play the puck all the time, and he shouldn't have been. Oh yeah, he was able to stop the puck. So best goaltender of all time for sure. Three demon on the it depends on the type of D-man you have, but I prefer forwards because for then the what was the reason for that? Because a D-man's going to have difficulty playing up high like that. You got to have a D-man playing high then, and most are going to have problems doing that. So blocking shots from their forwards are more used to blocking shots up high and stuff like that. It's just what they're used to. Florida could get away with it if they had everybody healthy, probably, yeah. Not to mention, the other part about playing D-men, 3 D-men, is they already play a lot of minutes as it is. So for minute distribution, it doesn't work very well. It's easier to play forwards in that spot because you have more forwards to pass the ice time around to rather than playing D-men. And I think that's the main reason why they do it, why they don't go 3 D-men. I remember there was a time when every once in a while a team would use 3 forwards and 1 D-man. But it doesn't happen too often. But that's mainly ice time distribution. Well, what would they have to offer? Well, they'd have to make it up salary-wise somehow. I think the first one that comes to mind, of course, and is Kadri. But then who do they have for a second-line center? I'm not sure if it would work. I'm not sure if they could find something that would work there with Colorado. It would have Kadri is the one that comes to mind. That would have to be part of that deal. And I just don't think Chicago is going to be too. I think there's probably other teams that would be able to offer more of what Chicago's looking for, unless they were willing to take full salary and they give up picks and stuff like that. If they were willing to do that somehow, if they were able to do that somehow, then Colorado would be big. And then it would cost their first, maybe Martin Kaut. They're getting a little thin on D after they lost Graves. And if they did that deal, they'd be going for it. So they don't want to really get anybody off the roster. So it would be their first. Bergevin out of a job? I don't know. You never know with Montreal what's going on. Yeah, unless you wanted to play Kane's second line center. Landeskog has played center. He was actually, I believe Landeskog was originally a center, and he's played center before. So you'd have Kane, McKinnon, and Rantanen. And then Landeskog in the middle with whoever you want to put on. Burakovsky and Comfer. But imagine Kane, McKinnon, and Rantanen. Holy crap. Wouldn't that be weird if Ducharme got fired now? After making it to the finals last year and then get fired now? Bring in Couleton. They gotta have their French Canadian coaches there, so that probably never happened. Yeah, that would be insane. And then play Landeskog in the middle with because I know he's not like the best center in the world, but if he had that top line, does it really matter? Let's look at Colorado here. What could they do? They could move JT Compher up there and put Landeskog on the left, I guess. And yeah. And then imagine that power play. You'd have Kane, McKinnon, Rantanen, and Makar, and say Taze on the back end, or fill in whoever you want to put in there. There's several guys that you could put in there. Like just Makar alone, their power play would be like 75%. Coaches before you play Colorado, nobody takes a penalty. Nobody, for no reason. Just let them hit you. Walk away. Don't take a penalty because we're done. Yeah, I know. That's the first thing I thought of too. End up in Vegas. Yeah, yeah, but at least as good, probably better. Yeah, because Edmonton doesn't have the Makar. My gosh, Makar, the four on the or imagine overtime. McKinnon, Kane, and Makar on the ice at the same time. You might as well just go to the dressing room. You might as well just go to the dressing room right now. Like, what's the use? Yeah, we give it to you. It would be insane. You put Kane on just about any good team out there. Kane, Eichel, Stone. That'd be pretty sick. And then you got the yeah. There's no way they'd be able to. I. How would they get their cap space for that though? Yeah, if you go to overtime, it's over, man. It's over. If you got that line, it kind of is like that in Edmonton though. Draisaitl, McDavid, and whoever you put back there on D. Yeah, they're gonna let him get the surgery he wants. Yeah. Next week he gets a surgery, and then it's 3 to 5 months. They say. I don't know why they go 3 to 5. His doctors are saying that 3 months and he'll be good. So that's what the doctors say. Yeah, they're gonna let him do whatever it takes because they are gambling in Vegas. They certainly are on the right team there in Vegas. Or they certainly they have the right attitude for being a team in Vegas. They gamble all the time. If it, it's fun to watch. The rebuild will be quite the gamble. No, I think Tuck stays in Buffalo. He's from Syracuse, New York. Yeah, he's from Syracuse, New York. Krebs went down to the minors. Krebs hadn't had a point yet, and he was a -6. So they're going to keep on having him build up in the minors. They have no reason to bring him up right now. But when Tuck is going, man, he's like a freight train out there. Fun to watch. But yeah, since he's from Syracuse, it's probably not all that bad for him. I think Swayman will end up taking that spot, and eventually, yeah, Swayman will take that spot. Boston, it's looking shaky, man. It's looking shaky at what they're gonna do. Hall has not looked great. Like, I think they look at their roster right now and know that they're not in the cup. That's why I thought maybe Boston for Kane. Because he is from Buffalo, so it's sort of in his area there. And he'd have a chance at a cup, and he could actually kind of make them a contender. You have Hall, and but they'd still need a center, I think. Five teams from the Metro will make it. Buffalo took that trade for Eichel. I thought Kevin Adams. Wanted high. I don't get what you're saying there. Oh, at Lauren. Okay, you were saying that at Lauren. Oh, Buffalo took the Pasternak, Bergeron, and imagine Kane passing to Pasternak. And then you'd have Marchand, Hull, and then find a center. I guess Foligno. They'd have a chance with that. They might have a chance. They might be able to do some damage if they do that. And it would be like the all in or nothing and then rebuild. Got 2 years of Kane. But I don't know what you got to give something up too. What are they going to give up? DeBrusque, Smith, and then prospects in a first. Something like that. I don't know. I think Bergeron, even if they win a cup, I think he'd still play. Just take 1 year deals. And that's the thing that's right. Bergeron is a free agent. What the heck is he making now? Boston Bruins do have $1 million and $1 million and change, or like almost $2 million to cap space. I think they might have to take Charlie Coyle. See, Kane plays right wing, right? Right wing, yeah. I could see this happening, guys. I could see it happening. So you take Smith, DeBrusque, and picks. Prospects and picks. And you'd have Marchand. Yeah, you can't play Kane. Well, you could try Kane on the left-hand side. Just keep that line up there and play Kane with Hall. And then you just got to find a center. When Foligno comes back, play him there, I guess. He could be the defensively responsible center, which they'd have to have with Hall and Kane. Could happen, man. Could happen. It's somewhat believable for sure. Well, there really wasn't anybody asking for more. It was a tough trade to make. There was only 2 teams that were willing to give him that surgery by the sounds of it. And maybe Anaheim, but Anaheim didn't have the pieces. They weren't going to give up their first round picks. Calgary, they say, was not offering up Kachuk. And if they weren't, what did they really have to give up too? They weren't going to give Mangiapane. So I think they could I think all the teams could end up kicking themselves. They didn't do something about that. They didn't go for it. If he and it appears that he's going to come back in good full strength, he could make everybody look really bad. You never know. That would be one Hail Mary. That would be a Hail Mary, all right. Because, well, I don't think they have that much depth, but they could offer Studinich, first, DeBrusque, and Smith or something like that to make it work as far as cap space. And that's probably all they would have to offer because Kane can block any trade. So they don't have leverage where they can just trade him all over the league. Maybe Chicago retains a little bit. I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Does that make them a contender though? That's the thing. Do they really think they're a contender after that with the defense that they have? I still don't think it puts them in contender status. I think that this Boston is teetering on a rebuild, complete rebuild. If Tuukka Rask comes back, what? Oh, like you're talking about Allmark? Rask is not going anywhere but Boston. Yeah, he's not going anywhere but Boston. He's said it himself. He said he'll sign like for half the league minimum, and he doesn't care if he's a third string goaltender. He's only going to play in Boston. He's not going anywhere else. So, Allmark, if you're talking about Allmark, maybe. Yet, if Rask comes back, trade Allmark that you signed as a free agent, which is weird. And then possibly. Oh, if you want to send Swayman to Edmonton, oh yeah. No problemo, buddy. No way Boston's letting Swayman go anywhere. No way. If they're rebuilding, they want to keep him. Like they're going to have a rebuild coming up. There's no way. Yeah. If you want to trade Swayman to Edmonton, what do you want? What do you want back? Pretty much give you whatever you want for Swayman. All over it. We'll worry about the rest later. First round picks. I mean, nobody off the roster. Maybe somebody off the roster. I don't know who it would be. Yamamoto. We'll give you Yamamoto. A first. Well, might as well give you that Russian goaltender we got. I don't know, that Russian goaltender, they might be so high on him that they don't even bother with Swayman. Yeah, I would definitely be all over Swayman if you want to do that. Kolinoff or whatever, Lauren knows. He knows KHL guys like crazy. Yeah, it would be a lot. I mean, I don't think Edmonton would win that race. I think there'd be so many teams in it that I don't think Edmonton would have what it takes to get them. If they wanted to trade Swayman, I mean, geez, there would be a lineup of teams for that. You got a stud goaltender with ELC time left, where you don't have to pay him heavy on the salary cap. Frick, if I'm Seattle, I'll give you my first next year for Swayman right now, and right now. I would give my, if I'm Seattle, I'd give you my first next year for Swayman. Let Grubauer and Swayman fight it out for the number one, which Swayman will win, and then trade Grubauer. Maybe Detroit might not bother with it because they're really super high on Casa. But Arizona, I don't think Arizona. I don't know. I don't think Arizona would give their first next year. Probably not. That would be close. But you could just go down the list. I mean, Chicago, like Fleury's not going to be the guy. Lankinen's not their number one. I'm sure they would be in it. Toronto. Los Angeles. San Jose. Ottawa. And probably Buffalo. Buffalo for sure. All of them. Depends on where you are and what you're doing. If I'm, let's see, if I'm Colorado right now, I'd be considering it. Depends on where you are. Boston might as well go all in. Might as well. If they're going to go for it, they're going to go for it. If you don't, dump them off. They're in that position right now where you're either all in or you're not. Washington, too. You might as well just go for it. If you're one of those teams that are basically your window's closing, you can worry about the rebuild later. St. Louis is almost in that spot, too. Poop or get off the pot. Otherwise, you get the worst thing that you can have happen to you. And that's that you get, you're in the middle of the pack every year. And that's the worst thing you could do. The best thing you can do is draft late in the late round draft picks. Like get later picks in the first round or whatever, and be competitive all the time. Like nail your second and thirds a lot, and you don't have to worry about that for sure. I'm sure Tom Wilson doesn't mind that either. Tom Wilson wants people to punch him in the face. What did he do last year? He beat up on a team that had nobody to fight with. That's kind of what hockey's all about. You got a pussy team. Somebody like Wilson's going to push you around. That's the whole point of having guys that can fight. No, Tarasenko is going to get traded still. He's not staying there. He's said that he still stands by what he says. He doesn't want to stay in St. Louis. He doesn't care about winning games. Something happened there about trust or something with this. Something happened there. It sounds like they didn't believe him about his injury or something, and he's got some serious evidence that people above him didn't believe him or something. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, he will not play. He's going to be traded from St. Louis. He still maintains he didn't take it. He didn't say that he doesn't want to be traded. He still says he wants to be traded. But guys, I guess that's my full 42. We had 2 streams today. Yay! So I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Wasn't that guy wasn't he the guy suspended? Which guy? Just wait a sec. I want to answer Bill, and then we'll be out of here. The league suspended Shifley. No, what do you mean? He's suspended? I don't think so. No. Shifley got suspended because, wow, we could get into that some other time. But yeah, I better let you go. I would like to sit here all day. I would love it, but I can't. That's my full 42, guys. Thanks for coming in. Till tomorrow. Have a great day. Okay, bye.